These are some of the mistakes that slow down my progress and honestly mess up my account. I really wish I never made them, so if you're a beginner in this game, hopefully you can learn from my mistakes and avoid making the same ones. Here are the 7 mistakes that you should avoid as a beginner in Sword Art Online Integral Factor. Number 1 is spending all your Arcana gems on the beginner banner. Now, is pulling on the beginner banner actually bad? Well, not exactly. The reason I don't recommend spending all your Arcana gems on it is because you might get some decent skills, yeah, but you'll also be using up the gems that you could have saved for limited banners with stronger or more useful skills. However, the beginner banner does have a few skills that can actually help you progress through the game, especially if you are a new player. So I personally recommend doing one full rotation. If you really want to pull more, you can do two more extra draw at most. You might already get the skills you need from the first full rotation, so those extra two draws are completely optional. Now, what skills should you actually look for? First is this Yuki Mother Sari mod skill and her father. These are really good for fast boss battles and can also help you with faster late game release crystal farming. But the problem is getting both of them in a single rotation can be really difficult. So if you manage to get them both, congratulations, you are actually lucky. Next is this Alice mod skill. This one is great for clearing mobs, and as you progress into the higher floors, you're eventually going to need a good AoE skills to clear dungeon more efficiently. So having Alice mod skill can definitely help you with your progression. As for the Axel skill, the main featured skill in this banner, this skill is mainly good if you already have a strong fire element link skill, but considering that you are just a beginner, then you probably don't have that kind of skill yet. It's pretty useful during the early game, but unfortunately, it starts to fall off in the late game. It's also quite difficult to build around it because you'll need to max out your other skills to probably take advantage of its ability. It's quite good, but I really don't recommend it. The other skills in the beginner banner can still be useful during early to mid game, but most of them will eventually fall off once you reach the late game. So if you get the Yuki's MR mod skill with her father or the Alice mod skill, then consider yourself lucky. Now, what should you do after pulling on the beginner banner? Well, you should save your Arcana gems. Seriously. Your next goal should be to save for a full burst or chain banner because once you reach the late game, having a strong full burst and a chain skill becomes extremely important for your damage and overall progression. So to summarize, one full rotation on the beginner banner is recommended, two extra draws at most if you really want to push your luck, and after that, stop pulling and save your gems. Mistake number 2, buying and crafting every floor weapon and integral weapon. In the early game, you'll see a new set of weapons and equipment almost every time you progress to a new floor. So you might think, I need to buy a new equipment every time I reach a new floor so that I can survive the next one. And you might think that it's a good idea because, well, it increases your total power and stats, but it's actually not worth it. You see, constantly buying new equipment and crafting every integral weapon can cost you a lot of coal and materials, and those resources can be pretty difficult and time consuming to grind, especially as a beginner. So instead, just follow this one simple rule. Only buy or craft a new equipment when you actually can't progress anymore. For example, a level 20 anneal blade can take you all the way to around floor 5. A level 20 innovation can take you to floor 10. And when you reach floor 10, a max Sanmato can potentially carry you all the way around to floor 35 to floor 50. Depending on how good your skills are and how well you can dodge enemy attacks. And when it comes to integral weapons, you can pretty much skip Gushon and Nox Gushon, which you can get from the floor 13 and floor 25 bosses. Instead, you can save your resources and aim straight for Fornews or Rosa Fornews, which you can get from floor 40 and floor 74 bosses. Of course, how far you can push these weapons will still depend on your skills, your build, and how well you can play your character. So remember, don't upgrade your equipment just because you unlock a new floor. Upgrade it when you actually need to. Save your call and materials and invest them into equipment that can carry you through multiple floors. Because the goal isn't to have the strongest equipment for every single floor. The goal is to spend as little as possible while progressing as far as you can. Mistake number 3, wasting your Medal of Combat Arts. This one is pretty simple. Don't waste your Medal of Combat Arts on things you can get free for later. Medal of Combat Arts can be pretty difficult and time consuming to farm, so you want to make sure you are spending them on rewards that are actually worth it. Here's a quick tip: don't buy any 4-star skill from the Medal of Combat Arts trader because you'll eventually be able to get these skills from the floor rewards in the chapter quests as you progress through the game. So instead of spending your medals on skills that you'll eventually get for free, save them for more important rewards that can benefit your account in the long run. Mistake number 4, pulling on random banners. Don't pull just because you have Arcana gems. You could end up spending thousands of gems on skills that don't fit your build, don't work with your playstyle, or simply aren't useful for your account. Now, if there's a specific skill you really want from a banner, you can always try your luck. But personally, I'd suggest doing one draw at most and then saving the rest of your gems for something that's actually worth it. And here's a quick tip: 5-step banners can be really good depending on what feature skills are available. Chain and pull burst banners are great investments, especially when you are looking for skills that you'll eventually need for late game progression. So before pulling, always check the banner first, look at the feature skills, and ask yourself, does this actually improve my build? If the answer is no, then save your gems. Don't pull just because a banner is available. Wait for the specific banners that actually have the skills you need and spend your Arcana gems wisely. Mistake number 5, doing permanent events too early. Now, I know permanent content can be tempting, especially when you see all the rewards you can get from it, but as a beginner, don't rush into it. Some permanent content can be difficult for a new account, and you might end up spending a lot of time trying to clear content that you aren't ready for yet. Instead, focus on progressing through the story and strengthening your build first, get better skills, upgrade your equipment when you actually need to, and build up your account. Once your account is stronger, you can always come back and clear those permanent events much more easily. So don't feel like you have to complete everything right away. Just focus on your progression first because the permanent content isn't going anywhere, and when you are finally strong enough to clear it efficiently, you'll be glad you waited. Mistake number 6, limit breaking random skills. Now, this is another mistake you wanted to avoid, especially as a beginner. Don't limit break every skill just because you can. Limit break materials are valuable, and if you waste them on skills that you'll eventually stop using, you could end up hurting your progression later on. Instead, before you limit break a skill, ask yourself, am I actually going to use this skill long term? If this skill is strong, useful, and fits your build, then go for it. But if you're only using it temporarily to help you progress through the early game, save your limit break materials. As you progress further into the game, you'll eventually get better skills and you'll want those valuable materials for skills that can actually carry you into the late game. So don't rush your limit breaks. Only invest them in skills that are strong, useful, and fit your long term build. Because once you spend those materials, you can't just take them back. Mistake number 7, wasting your resources. And finally, one of the biggest mistakes you can make as a beginner: wasting your resources. Early in the game, resources might seem easy to get. You have call, materials, arcana gems, medals, limit break materials, and you might think, I can just farm more later. Well, you can, but it's not going to be easy. As you progress further into the game, you'll need more and more resources for stronger equipment, better skills, and important upgrades. And this is something you need to understand early. Scarcity is one of the biggest enemies in Sword Art Online Integral Factor. Once you run out of the resources you need, you're gonna spend a lot of time farming them again. So instead of spending everything the moment you get it, think before you spend. And ask yourself, do I actually need this? If you don't, then save it. Invest your resources into things that will actually help your account progress and give you the most value in the long run. And this actually applies to everything we talk about in this video. Don't waste your Arcana gems, don't waste your medals, don't limit break random skills, don't constantly replace your equipment, and don't spend time doing content that you are not ready for yet. If you avoid these mistakes and learn how to manage your resources properly, you'll have much smoother start in this game and you'll be able to progress much more efficiently. So remember, scarcity is always waiting for you. Waste your resources now and you'll pay for it later.